Hi everyone, Rebecca here, and I wanted to come on to share a really short practice with you that's going to help you to calm the body, reset that nervous system, and to reconnect all through the power of your vagus nerve. So you can do this right from work if you're sitting at a desk or if you're at home. You can stay seated, it doesn't matter. It's simple, it's effective, and it only takes a few minutes. So a little bit of background. So if you've ever felt that wave of anxiety in your chest, maybe in your gut, it might even be a calm day, but for whatever seems like no obvious reason, you have these sensations. So sometimes it's not about what's happening in the moment. You might feel stressed and overwhelmed, but it might be what you've been doing in your lives leading up to it. So everything that's happened in our past is getting stored in our body, and eventually those signals, those sensations start to come up in our body, and we're not even really sure why. So the vagus nerve is like your body's main communication line between your brain and your organs. So your heart, your lungs, your digestive system, but it also connects through the face. So the throat, ears, jaw, eyes. And when we're stressed, that connection can go a little offline and we might start to feel it physically. So maybe that knot in our stomach, that heaviness in our chest, or maybe tension in the jaw or face. Hello, headache. So when that happens, it's so important to pause and to notice. So notice what's been happening in your day. Okay, have you been rushing? Have you been stressed? Are you skipping meals or running on little sleep? Or maybe you're drinking too much caffeine or alcohol. The most powerful thing you can do in that moment when you feel those sensations is to stop and acknowledge what's happening instead of continuing and pushing through. Take a breath, connect with your body. And when we don't and we ignore these sensations, we're really just pushing down the nervous system's way of asking for our attention. We're just pushing down that energy. So the good news is we can naturally support and regulate the vagus nerve through breath, sound, gentle touch, mindful awareness. So we're going to take a few minutes to do just that together right now. And if you find this video helpful, make sure you save it so you can come back to it whenever you get those sensations come up. And don't forget to subscribe if you do find these practices helpful and you want more on supporting your nervous system and your emotional well-being. So when you are ready, let's find a comfortable space, a comfortable spot. So maybe you need to move. I'm just going to place a pillow behind me. I'm going to come into a cross-legged position. You can kind of come into whatever position feels right for you. And then when you're ready, just closing down your eyes here. And we're just beginning to tune inward. So I want you to bring a hand to the belly and then a hand to the chest. And just take a moment to notice what's happening here. If you're feeling any sensations in a certain part of your body, sitting with that sensation. Keeping your awareness there. And then as you sit with this sensation, I want you to notice what maybe your body wants to do here. So we get disconnected from these practices, but really connecting with the body, and maybe a little bit of pressure feels nice, maybe on the chest or the belly, just pushing in, maybe almost like a little bit of a pulse. And then noticing whether any other touch or movement feels right. Maybe the hands want to move, maybe a little bit of a hug across the torso and the belly. Maybe a little bit of a sway comes in. Maybe the hands want to just move up the arms. Maybe a little bit of pressure here. Grabbing the arms, and again, noticing what your body needs. It might be completely different from mine. Maybe the hands come up to the chest. Again, maybe that pressure, pushing the chest. Pressure on the chest, noticing how that feels. How those sensations change. Maybe that breath moves in. Maybe you really get the need, which is the nervous system resetting, to take a deep breath or a yawn. So let's inhale through the nose. And then exhale through the mouth. Really letting it go with any sound that feels right. Again, those connections in the throat. Inhale. Can even make a voo sound as you release, or a hum if that feels good. Let's take a couple more of those deep breaths. Noticing again, maybe your hands are still moving. Maybe your body is still swaying here. And then as you continue, maybe with that regular style of breathing, or maybe you are still taking those deep breaths, maybe the hands are moving up towards the throat and the neck. Again, just exploring here. Where does it feel maybe comfortable or maybe a little discomfort to be? Coming up to maybe the jaw, noticing the jaw, maybe some pressure again on the jaw. Open and close the mouth a couple times. Maybe you're holding a pressure point in the jaw as you open and close the mouth. And then coming up towards the eyes, noticing, massaging around the eyes, the temples. Or maybe the hands are just coming over the eyes and just holding. And then maybe the hands come towards the ears, finding a little bit of a massage around the ears. And then maybe the fingers or one of the fingers just comes to the opening of the ear canal here and just kind of hangs a little bit. Maybe you're finding or finding those deep breaths move in. And just taking a moment here to maybe move those hands back down. And maybe a little bit of movement wants to come in. Again, maybe you are finding a little bit of a sway from left to right. That rocking, that swaying calms the nervous system. And maybe there's other movement as we begin to kind of come out. Maybe we begin to open the eyes, and maybe we begin to just look around the space, finding movement for the head and neck, just orienting back into the room, looking all around. Maybe rounding the back if that feels good. And I hope you feel a little bit calmer. Please remember to like and subscribe if you are looking for more nervous system regulation tips and tricks. Thank you.